G'day friends and fans, welcome to Dave Talks Stuff Ukraine War Update for the 4th of February 2026. I'm your host, the author, David Applegate. And of course, though the war continues, it is taking a turn for the worst for Ukraine, that is, as Ukraine has suffered a massive power outage, this time as a direct result of targeting of power stations in Kiev. The whole energy system, which is now fragile and taxed, as it is the coldest winter in years, and there's already a energy shortage, now made worse by the lack of power. Now, other than some emergency lighting, most of Kiev was without power, and many factories, of course, and deliberately so, because anything electronic would stand out. And so anything they wanted to keep or preserve, other than hospitals or government centres or, say, bunkers, are now highlighted on the Russian aerial surveillance. So, I mean, you had to, realize that Russia is the proverbial cat beating a broken rat around the head and is toying with its prey. Right. Now, the proverbial cat in this case is not exactly weak, but nor is it that strong, right? It is definitely a threat to Europe. It could do a lot of damage, but it's how far everybody wishes to go. And the establishment obviously thinks that it can go far enough to cause a collapse in Russia. I mean, Starmer said that we're going all out. We're in this until Putin is removed. He's made it clear. Right, that Britain is a threat, making threats to Russia, and most of the world is so used to these saber rattlers that they don't realise that, or stop to ask, are we the baddies? But yes, your governments are bad guys, right? Trump is trying Europe to rein them in, but they won't listen to reason. They're completely enamored. You have the Spanish bullshit artist, propagandist over in kissing up to the Arabs, saying how they're going to stop hate speech, aka telling the truth about Islam. You have Germany making promises to crack down, obviously on channels like mine, who do not give you propaganda, right? Anything less than the official narrative of the, shall be, and they're talking about fines, not just removing you're blocking you from being broadcast. They're now talking about $5,000 fines or €5,000 for speaking the truth. Hello, old chap. Did you complain today? Of course not, Governor. Damn, I need to meet a quota. You complained. Oh, have to find yourself now. So, here we have a bit of a straightening of the front line, but nothing really significant. Probably a little bit of advance, but it's nothing significant. It is actually horizontal here. They've moved closer. They really are. They're almost back to, they've been here before, but, we know it's a bear trap, right? They lure the Ukrainians in, do a lot of killing, and then pull out. If the Ukrainians don't show up, Russia sends drone swarms to other places, and so they're forcing the Ukrainians' hand. Now, there's a lot of these engagements are actually what you call Toyota hit and runs, where they get their Toyota pickup, put a mortar in the back, race out into the field, drop the mortar off the back, and drop well, it takes a little bit to set up a mortar, but once they set it up, they drop a few rounds, then sometimes abandon the mortar, or it depends on Russia's response. Sometimes they're racing across the fields, AKing it up, so to speak. But, this war is such a mixed bag. That's devolving, right? It's devolved. But there are areas of complete and utter chaos, but also lots of stillness, right? Lots of tranquility. And I bet you for the boys on those lines, on either side, they're enjoying their paid time off, hoping that the call to arms doesn't get, that whistle doesn't get blown, and there's no charging in. And so far, it is a slow grind with not much progress made, and today looks like just another day for the Ukrainians. Now, Russia, of course, is continuing to push, but they have not pushed hard. Now, as you go through the map, there's not much change to it whatsoever, but they are in... they've advanced to and taken more territory north of Turn, and I'm going to try and announce some of these names, but the Russians taking a chunk out of here, move it, but they're pushing up, but they haven't taken the crossing here, but they're now on it, so they've advanced in a few places, but not many. But they probably control this area now and moving on. They're now coming for Zal here, finishing off this little corner here, pushing up on Omsk. Sorry, I know it's not Omsk. Orkiv. Yeah, Orkiv. Alright. Now they've hit infrastructure around Zaporozhye, destroying the power nodes there. Destroying... now, I'm sure it was actually a electronic warfare, but they said a hub, right, in Kherson. I think they meant electronic warfare, but it could have been a drone hub. Command and control, communications, that sort of thing. But as for Ukraine's response, another day they have not been able to successfully launch drones against Russia. Which leads to the question, what's happened to Ukraine's drone army? Well, again, these Temu drones, right, coming out of China. What's China doing? Well, they're slowing down their deliveries to Europe, aren't they? So Ukraine is suffering. Now, obviously, the Ukrainian energy minister is going to try to put a positive spin. Now, there are claims that two out of the three power stations are dead, or power plants in Kiev. But they have been seriously damaged. They're flying in experts from Germany. They're flying in work crews, but they do that every day. But they've got engineers now. They've flown in hundreds of portable generators. Well, of course, they're complaining how it's unfair. Oh boy, that word, unfair. Right. I warned and warned and warned. You keep attacking. For months, Ukraine has attacked Russian infrastructure in Belgrade, in Kursk. They've attacked, how many times have they attacked, Donbass City, and others, right? Crimea, Kursk, right? And pretty much tried to justify it all as we have to destroy the Russian war machine. Well, anything Russia could do, they could do back to you. And they've been watching, patiently testing every power line, every grid, watching exactly what goes out and when and how long it takes to get back on. And they've been planning a retaliatory response. So you think the Chechen leader is bluffing when he says he's planning his revenge? Man, he's still probably he's still probably plotting out the list of things to do. You know, he's going to get there eventually, and it's going to be such a chilling effect on Zelensky. He just doesn't understand, right? And I do get it, right? Zelensky's an ethnic Russian, so sore losing is in his DNA, so he doesn't actually comprehend it. He expects everybody else to lose to him. And Putin's just a better winner, a better planner, more sophisticated. He took into account things Ukraine did not take into account. And top of Putin's list is anything they do to us that's effective, we do it twice back to them. Simple strategy, but it's working, right? The Russian grind is working. Now, of course, there's the usual propaganda, but artillery, Ukraine is, of course, trying to wheel out as much of artillery as they can. It's not working, right? They've not been able to get any momentum on the battlefield. And now we have the list of power plants out across Ukraine. There's a lot of them. Number of houses and all that doesn't mean shit, right? But Ukraine is in a panic, right? Because they can't restore the power as fast as Russia could destroy it. And they can't, and their air defenses, Zelensky might as well be carrying a shield and standing on top of a building. Now, Mark Rutte said that the attacks on Ukraine said that Moscow is not serious about peace. Really? Mark. Now do Zelensky's attack on Kursk or Belgorod, Donetsk, right? Do any of Zelensky's attacks, right, during peace talks. Any. Right? You hypocrites. Now, of course, here they are. Of course, more air defenses. Because, everything is just give them more. Right? They can't answer Russia. And that is panicking, right? Because they know the only way they're going to get through this, right? You've got to remember, right? Under Obama, they tried to steal the plans to the new Russian air defense. Russia spent billions redesigning the, and pretty much looks to have scrapped the S-400, 550, and 550A series, and investing in the 550 series. So you have so billions of dollars in research for air defense and faster, higher, more powerful missiles. But it's forced them to really produce more efficiently. They outplayed their hand, right? You tipped off Russia that you're going to war against them, so they prepared. It may not look at it first, but they prepared. They know, and it's sad. They know it's the government's, but yes. Now, Yeah, Russia has not increased its only increased its manpower, but its heavy ordnance, over 10,000 ordnance, which may not sound much, and it really isn't compared to the amount of munitions they use per month, but the number of weapons has increased. Now, these could be drones, missiles, these could be aircraft. It's just generally the amount of military equipment has dramatically increased. Now, they're talking about weapons. Pardon me. Russia is definitely planning an offensive, maybe the final offensive the winter, and I would say that it's most likely going to be drones and an air war. So there's going to be some aircraft, some drones, some missiles. But I wouldn't put it past them to throw some stuff on the side with some more heavy artillery. Now, NATO, of course, has yet again tried to manufacture a consent for a war by talking about sending troops into Ukraine. It hasn't worked. People are sick and tired of NATO talking about deploying troops. Nobody wants troops in Ukraine. Ukraine does not need troops. It needs police. It needs law enforcement. It needs stability. A stabilization force. Now, because Ukraine cannot be trusted, they need someone to monitor and watch their behavior. And because they can't spend 5 minutes without insulting Russia to their face and then storming off, the US is there to soften the blow. So more talks today, continuing tomorrow. But so far, they've made notes, compared notes, and prepared for the heavy lifting tomorrow. And Trump has indicated, hopefully, that a lot of good things are happening. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, it comes down to whether or not Zelensky, as many have now urged him, to sign a peace deal, a ceasefire. And if you want lasting peace, you have to dismantle and pull back from engagement, not continue harassing Russia and firing into Russia. But we'll see. So that's the state of the war. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel. You can support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. All my links are in the link tree, description below, in my profile, or scan the QR code on the screen. Really appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.